In this video, I'm going to show how Reddit engages in censorship. A lot of people think that Reddit is immune from the sort of censorship we see on other social media platforms, and for a good reason. Reddit is much more grassroots. There's no algorithms manipulating what you see and what you don't. It's a very simple system. You upvote posts, and the most upvoted posts get to the top. It's a giant forum. But nonetheless, if you come here to the Reddit homepage, you get a very clear picture politically as to what's going on. Just based on the Reddit homepage, believing what they have to say, you may think that the Proud Boys are a terrorist organization, or that Donald Trump is a domestic threat. And if you scroll down, you think that it's okay. They're normalizing TikTok users doxing Supreme Court justices, and that you can't be loyal to Trump and the Constitution, and that if you don't like Roe v. Wade, you must be from one of the incest or the poorest states. And despite Reddit supposedly not censoring, all of the political content that you get just on the front page logged out seems to be very, very left wing, even though the country is about 50-50 and has been for almost 30 years. So now let's get into how Reddit creates this sort of skewed left wing picture of reality, because on a decentralized grassroots platform like Reddit, it's a little more complicated, but they manage to do it nonetheless. So this is one of the first things that I posted on this account, a meme on the Linux meme subreddit. The meme itself was relatively well received. Linux people wondering why there's so few apps for Linux when they spend all their time working on obscure distros that nobody uses. And it's bad luck, Brian. Top comment. Fun fact, it doesn't work like that. I reply, fun fact, it does. 50 downvotes. People don't write programs for distros. Distros pick up software packages they want to include. And I respond, did you miss the point of the meme? It's about allocation of time and energy. 35 downvotes, and just on and on and on, and people downvote less as they basically drop off and get less interested. So right here, you can see a form of sort of grassroots discontentment with content. Because I simply express an opinion that people don't like, and rather than just debate me, people mass downvote me. And this is a recurring thing. Another meme on the Linux meme subreddit. Go ahead, hate me. Can I have a computer to run games? We have computer at home. Yes, computer at home, and it's a Linux penguin. Me agreeing that Linux is better than Mac, that gets a lot of upvotes. But if you go down a little bit and I go, the purpose of an operating system is to run programs. If you run Linux, you may as well just not have a computer. Well, 125 downvotes. And me even linking to a video where Linus Torvalds says exactly what I just said, because Linux breaks compatibility left and right, and it means that programs don't really work unless they're constantly updated, which means that very little software is made. That gets 25 downvotes. And once again, more and more downvotes the further you go down. Me saying, I posted this meme from Linux in response to somebody saying, I bet this guy doesn't even use Linux. 27 downvotes. It just goes on and on and on. And you might go, well, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is we go over here, and despite me making comments that were well received later, I still have more than negative 100 comment karma. Negative 100 comment karma is the lowest it will display. It goes much lower than that. So I have somewhere between negative 100 and negative infinity comment karma. And that's just for expressing opinions that people don't like. It's not for, I don't know, linking to malware or porn or, I don't know, saying something racist. It's just for disagreeing with... It's just for disagreeing. And the problem with this is, because if people just didn't like what I have to say, whatever. I mean, I'm fine with having unpopular opinions. I'm not going to choose what I say based on how people want me to speak. I'm not going to just tell people what they want to hear. And that wouldn't be an issue. None of this would be an issue, except let's go to two really big subreddits that I really like. And let's see what happens when I have negative comment karma and I try to post something. This is a meme I made about Windows 11, about how it's kind of stupid. And let's see what happens when I try to post it on the meme subreddit and the PC Master Race subreddit. Immediately, the post is removed. Let's try the PC Master Race subreddit. Try to post. Okay. Give it a title. I think you're required to give a flair. And immediately awaiting moderator approval. And in my experience, this just means that they'll wait a while and then ban it. And here too. And sometimes they don't give an exact reason for why they ban you. They say something vague like, we do this to keep communities safe, civil, and true to their purpose. But if we go to some of my messages from mods, a shitposting subreddit I was banned, they said, you have negative comment karma. Come back when it's positive. The anarcho-capitalist subreddit, they removed my comments there even. Usually my comments get through. It's just posts that they don't allow. But even on the anarcho-capitalist subreddit, they banned even my comments because I have more than negative 10 comment karma. So I'm literally banned by the anarchist subreddit. So that's the problem. That's how the whole upvote, downvote system can lead to censorship. When subreddits then use that tool as a means of filtering out content, that they use people simply not liking something because they disagree with it and go, this person is too controversial. They have opinions that aren't popular, so therefore we're not going to allow them to have a voice. And once again, this by itself doesn't seem like some sort of conspiracy to censorship, until we start looking at some political content. Because in my experience, one side of the political spectrum is fine with mass downvoting and flagging content they don't like, while as the conservative side, they generally tend to either ignore things or actually try to debate the people. So if we look at here on the trashy subreddit, somebody posted this picture. It's weird that it shows this as being removed because it was up for more than a week and it was very popular. Somebody posted a picture at a mall, somebody with a fuck Biden flag and two women shaking their ass, and basically the idea is trashy. This is trashy because, I guess because they have fuck Biden gadgets. That's what makes them trashy, just their political persuasion. And this person says, it's pathetic. This isn't a some people issue. It's one entire political party being a cult at this point. So I reply to him, you don't even realize how much you've been conditioned. And then they reply with the exact same thing, and you can just see right here with the upvote, downvote count, them having this political view gives them upvotes, and me having this political view gives me downvotes, even though about half the country thinks the way that I do. And it goes on and on and on, arguing back and forth, and my posts get downvoted, and their posts don't. This continues. Somebody talking about censorship. Step 1, create an imaginary problem and have your media empire organically make it a talking point. Step 2, declare that you're the only one with an answer, but you're being cancelled, and the only way to save our country is to donate to your PAC. Step 3, call your cocaine dealer, put your underage sex worker requests in the orgy coordinator. And I go, censorship is not an imaginary problem. I myself have been censored. Me just saying that I'm censored for having contrary opinions gets 55 downvotes. And then this person asks how so. Them teasing, they didn't even give me a chance to respond. So then I respond as to how I've been censored. 35 downvotes. And it goes on and on and on. Me, for having my opinions, get mass downvoted. But the people who disagree with me, who like to say censorship doesn't exist, they get massively upvoted. This guy even deleted his account after our discussion because I trolled him so hard. He just called me a disgusting anti-human piece of shit. Uh, and his post got upvoted for that, but mine got downvoted once, at least, assuming nobody upvoted mine. Um, so from my experience, even though conservatives are half the country, expressing any sort of conservative opinion gets you mass downvoted, while expressing a liberal opinion gets you mass upvoted. If we look here, this is another example in the communist memes subreddit, because Reddit kept pushing this subreddit to me for some reason, even though I'm not a communist. This is about the handover of Hong Kong, and somebody saying that the PRC coerced Britain, which is true, saying it was a rightful colony, and title, fucking Anglo, meaning some sort of capitalist, racist entitlement complex. And then I reply, are you guys literally rooting for the Chinese Communist Party? Are the concentration camps not enough to change your mind? And me just saying that concentration camps are bad gets 8 downvotes. And then this person replies, it's re-education camps, and they get upvotes. And I say, oh my god, are you real? And they say, are you? And I say, yes, how can you justify concentration camps? Me literally asking, how can you justify concentration camps, gets me downvoted. And it goes on and on and on, and then me literally saying that the Xinjiang area is an autonomous area that's had a history of independence and self-governance, and saying that them fighting off the Chinese isn't terrorist, it's actually fighting for the legitimate freedom of their nation. That gets downvoted, but then I got banned from the communist meme subreddit, so that's where the discussion ended. So this is where the political censorship comes from, or at least where it starts, because anywhere on Reddit, from r/communist memes to technology to trashy, for having a right-wing opinion, you get downvoted, and for having a left-wing opinion, you get upvoted. It's grassroots censorship, because left-wing people will upvote opinions they agree with in a debate, while right-wing people will downvote them. This has been my experience for years. It's been pretty much every conservative's experience, that rather than actually try to downvote people, conservatives generally will try to reply and try to change somebody's mind, or just ignore them, while left-wing people will try to shout them down in the mob. There's an old expression. Republicans want Democrats to keep talking, and Democrats want Republicans to shut up. And this is how, just for having right-wing opinions, you can have negative comment karma and be banned from posting to most of Reddit. So it's the grassroots left-wing activists that make up the left-wing population on Reddit that result in conservatives being censored. But, I'm not going to stop here, because this by itself wouldn't be that bad, and be kind of difficult to compare it to censorship. Then we get into actual subreddits being banned, actually being removed for having bad opinions. The same sort of left-wing mob mentality, downvote and try to get anybody you disagree with to shut up rather than hear them out and debate them, continues in other areas too. This is r/against hate subreddits. This is not a fringe group. There's 130,000 subscribers here, and this isn't the only group of its type. Now, what is the purpose of a community like this? Well, the purpose of this community is to draw attention to Reddit's contributions to the growing problem of radicalization on social media. We call for moderators and admins to take responsibility for their roles in the memification and normalization of bigotry, hate, and violence. There you go. Those left-wing people who brigade you with downvotes when they don't like what you have to say. They form their own subreddits dedicated to getting moderators and admins to remove you outright. As a matter of fact, rule number 1 of their subreddit is report hate, don't participate. Don't go to these communities and disagree with them and maybe try to change their minds, report the hatred instead directly to the admins. Now, by itself, okay, bigotry, hate, and violence, those are bad things, right? We all agree that those as a society shouldn't be tolerated. But what do they consider to be bigotry, hate, and violence? This is an archived post. List of known hate subreddits. r/the Donald. r/the Donald. Trump's subreddit. It was banned about 3 years ago because of people like this. And why? Why did they want to ban it? Because of Donald Trump's discriminatory changes in U.S. policy. It promotes Islamophobia, transphobia, and at times even race-based violence. Now, that's a big claim because half the country voted for Trump and half the country is conservative, and Trump was at the time president of the United States. It's a pretty damn big claim to say that people who support him are bigots. As a matter of fact, let's go to communities.win/c/the Donald. This is where the people went after their subreddit was banned. They formed their own entire website because the subreddit was so popular. And this is where, theoretically, the really crazy people, the people who were bigots, who were banned and removed by Reddit, go so that they can sort of do their 8chan manifesto racist, conspiracy theories. But that doesn't really seem to be the case. The top post in the subreddit, it's making fun of just how companies pander to the LGBT community during LGBT month, Pride Month. Norm Macdonald sketch about Pride Month, celebrating the last week of the Trump of the Supreme Court ruling, saying it's the best week of the Trump presidency, which is kind of funny because he's not even president. Making fun of how the Democrats, making fun of Russia. This person who looks like one of the people in the Capitol in the Hunger Games movies, making fun of them. Making fun of the new Supreme Court justice. Again, making fun of companies pandering to Pride Month. None of this strikes me as Islamophobic or as inciting, race-based violence. Just strikes me as, fans of Donald Trump. And even if we go down, you can see that one of their rules is no racism. No racism, including slurs, non-factual content, and general unfounded bigotry. They literally try to stop bigotry and misinformation. So this isn't the sort of evil subreddit that r/against-hate subreddits tries to make them out as, because all these claims are not visible, even when they have their own website and aren't subject to any of Reddit's rules. Which means that this is literally just an excuse, not a justification for getting them banned. It's just them downvoting people they don't like. There are some other subreddits on this list too that they considered hateful subreddits. A racist subreddit was r/conspiracy. Now, r/conspiracy is literally just dedicated to questioning things. This is about Epstein's Island, about ending the Patriot Act, wanting to know what happened with Epstein, making fun of R. Kelly. Yeah, okay, and they say that this subreddit is that it promotes anti-Semitism, even though right here it celebrates this man who was Jewish and I suppose was murdered by the state, or I don't know, I don't know anything about this, but it's celebrating a Jewish man, but they're anti-Semitic. But they don't like, I guess, that people question the narrative. Let's go down. What else do they consider? I haven't been to most of these communities. Against gay marriage, well, that's not necessarily homophobic. You can be in favor of gay people without being in favor of gay marriage, because the whole thing, gay marriage, implies that churches have to celebrate their sacrament, as opposed to same-sex civil unions, which which are a completely different thing than marriage, although they legally have the same. Okay, whatever. I'm getting into the weeds. They consider that a hate subreddit. They also consider r slash conservative a hate subreddit. Now, hold on a minute. Somehow even more bigoted than r slash fascist. Whoa. This subreddit openly promotes homophobia and refers to same-sex couples as degenerates. Oh, that's a big claim. Let's go check out this link. Okay, oh, same-sex couples are degenerates and shouldn't be allowed to have children and other pieces of valuable conversation. Okay, that sounds really bad. Oh, wait a minute. This is another post on the r slash against hate subreddit. But they link. Okay. So what's their link? Alright, so the post is Jordan Peterson calls for intact heterosexual two-parent families to maintain civilization. That doesn't... That's not calling homosexuals degenerates. Maybe somewhere in the comments. Let's search degenerate. Oh, it doesn't show up at all. What if we search allowed to have... So, this doesn't exist. They made this up. Okay. So, what else is considered hate? r slash Canada. r slash H3 Productions. Okay. So, that's what they consider to be hate. None of these, well, I mean, obviously some of them, like r slash fascists, are hate subreddits, but r slash the Donald, r slash conspiracy, r slash conservative, r slash H3 Productions, this doesn't strike me as particularly bigoted. These strike me as just anti-left. And that's what they do. They just report people who they disagree with and make up racism as an excuse. Now, let's look at... see if they've changed. This is the subreddit today. r slash darkmag. I've never heard of that. A home for plague rats. Never heard of that, so I can't speak as to it. r slash conservative. There it is again. They believe LGBT is a cult. Yeah, it's either one guy said that in the comments or nobody ever said it. r slash India speaks. r slash censored reality. Yeah, once again, trying to just remove dissidents. What is r slash censored reality? That's a subreddit that I subscribe to. Let's see. This is my favorite post. It was actually originally on r slash banned for life, but, well, that subreddit got removed, probably by people like the r slash against hate subreddits. But it got reposted here. This is the left in 2017, inciting an insurrection against Trump.
Police had to push back the protesters so firefighters could get to the flames.
Revolution or death. Yeah, comparing this to the whole point is the left is going all crazy about January 6th. You know, the protesters who respect the ropes in Statuary Hall. When the left did this in 2017 and nobody wants to talk about this. Originally on Banned for Life, now here on Censored Reality, and then, surprise, surprise, they want to ban Censored Reality along with r slash conservative. So that really shows the state of Reddit, that these grassroots left-wing activists have real power. They, first of all, get everybody shadow banned from Reddit who they don't like by downvoting their posts and then having them automatically filtered out from most subreddits. And then they try to get any sort of subreddits where they could flee to banned altogether. And Reddit was not always like this. As a matter of fact, I, at times like this, really like to listen to Aaron Swartz, the co-founder of Reddit. This was in a documentary he did in 2012 that he was interviewed for.
Yeah, it's true. But both the government and private companies can censor stuff. But private companies are a little bit scarier because they have no constitution to answer to. They're not elected, really, right? They don't have constituents or voters. All of the protections we've built up to protect against government tyranny don't exist for corporate tyranny. And so, people experience this in their job. You can get fired for doing all sorts of things that are constitutionally protected, like having a bumper sticker on your car. But where we're starting to experience that is in these privately owned spaces that we live in. I think we first saw this in the 90s with malls, right? As malls became a cool place for kids to hang out, all of these freedoms that we had against the government, we lost in the mall because the mall was a private company that could throw people out for saying the wrong thing or wearing the wrong shirt. Now, Facebook has kind of become the mall. It's where everyone hangs out. And so the private company that owns Facebook can tell you, oh, don't use those kinds of words, don't use those sorts of pictures, don't talk with those people. All of these constitutional rights that we take for granted are now run by a private company that doesn't have to answer to the Constitution.
Sounds familiar. Aaron Swartz is also famous for saying, all censorship should be deplored. Bits are not a bug. We should create communications technologies that allow people to send whatever they like to each other. And when people put their thumbs on the scale and try to say what can and can't be sent, we should fight back, both politically through protest and technologically through software. This is one of the co-founders of Reddit. This was the spirit that Reddit had in the beginning. Man, I wonder what this guy would think about what Reddit has become today. Actually, maybe we could, let's search his name. Aaron Swartz. Oh, that's right. They Epsteined him.